it's Tina from Shabbydabbydoodah. Welcome back to my channel. So you can see my desk is pretty messy at the moment. So what I thought we could do is come along and make a scrappy snippet. So we have made like snippet rolls before, we've made fabric ones and we've made paper ones. And I thought today I'm going to just grab, you know, any old bits that I've got floating around on my desk. So all kind of odds and pieces. These are all just left over from other kind of projects and things that I've been working on. I mean, you can see I've got a ton of things here. So, you know, I've got plenty of stuff to pull in. And, oops, I'm just trying to get some more things to put in. Yeah, plenty of things here that I can pull in and just make a very fun sort of snippet roll that then would be able to be used in just tiny little portions. So I'm going to grab things. Well, I might grab a few things quickly now. And then I will grab kind of as we go, but let's just, you know, hang you up onto my camera hanger and get started. Right, I have gathered in a whole bunch of stuff. So as you can see, I mean, actually this ribbon has not even been opened. So I'm going to put that out of the way because that's quite neat and tidy. I don't need to be bringing in things that are, you know, are quite neat and not really causing a problem. But yeah, all of this stuff, it's all just scattered around on my desk. Oops, here's another piece. You know, and like I say, of course, I've still got miles more things piled around on here that I can still be pulling in. But let's just get started with this. So I'm going to cut this down because otherwise it's going to be too big to, you know, even get on camera. So I'm going to use this lace piece as my base piece, my lace piece as my base piece. Right, now I'm going to just spread it out like that. Now, all of this, as you can see, does not go together in any way, shape or form. It's all different, you know, bits and pieces and yeah, all sorts. So I must not get bogged down in, oh no, that's not going to go together, because ultimately what I'm making is something that's going to be cut into small pieces. So okay, so as you can see, I've got a whole bunch of things here. Now I'm not going to get too bogged down with, you know, oh, that one, oops, that one doesn't go or anything like that, because as I said previously, I mean, what I'm trying to make here is an eclectic, you know, I don't really know whether I would call this a bunch of kind of snippet pieces, like all just glued on to one base piece, if that makes sense. You know, I'm not intending on using this as an entire snippet strip or anything like that. What I'm trying to do is make a ton of little bits that I can then pull in as and when I'm doing a project. You know, I could just think, oh, shall I pull that in and see what I've got on there? So I really have got, you know, a whole bunch of different things. And as you can see, I mean, none of this goes together. It's just literally scraps and junk and, you know, odds and ends and bits and pieces left over. So I'm not going to get too bogged down at all whether all those pieces don't go together. I am just literally going to kind of like, yeah, just go for it and just use all of these bits randomly along this piece. Now for my base piece, I've got this length of lace. It's, well, just off white colour really, which is fine. I don't know how much of the base piece you're really even going to see, to be honest, in the finished, you know, the finished article. So that's just kind of there to be able to attach things on. So I must not, I say it again, I must not get bogged down with, oh, that piece doesn't go with that, because that's not what this is about. Like I say, it's really just about using up pieces and, you know, just getting rid of pieces and making a very eclectic, you know, bunch of things basically that I can then go on to use in a whole variety of different ways and different projects and things like that. So in all honesty, from that perspective, actually the more different pieces that I get and the more eclectic styles that I get, the better. Because if they all obviously look the same, then, you know, of course they're not really going to be, you know, offering me great versatility for a wide range of projects. So from that perspective, you know, it's kind of the more the better. So let's just pop this down here. So this is just some green velvet. So I'll just place a piece on here, I think. Maybe even, yeah. Again, I must not get too bogged down in how I'm actually gluing these pieces on. Instead, just kind of like go for it. And, you know, wherever they land, they'll land. And then work my piece around that. So instead of, yeah, like intentionally gluing things in a certain order or a certain place, just kind of more work with things more as they fall, really, which I think will be, you know, more fun and will help me get a bigger sort of variety of different pieces to use. So, I mean, I don't know what this is going to look like. I haven't really done this before where I've been so random in my styles. And to be honest, who knows? Maybe I will end up with just, you know, a bunch of pieces that actually I just do not like at all and will not want to use. But I'm hoping that actually in, you know, the opposite's going to happen, in that I'm going to turn out with a bunch of pieces that it's like, well, actually, I never would have put those pieces together. But hey, look at this gorgeous bunch of things that I've got. So this is Fabri-Tac glue that I'm using. Just because all of the pieces so far that I'm gluing down are, in fact, fabric. So, and obviously I'm gluing, you know, fabric to fabric. So here, for example, I've just got this little bit of like velvet. So again, just going to glue this down. I mean, I don't know about you, but when I've done kind of like eclectic-y snippet rolls before, I have definitely kind of gone with a, oh, that goes with that, or that goes with that. And, you know, the whole snippet roll has been pretty coordinated so that I could use it in an entire length, you know, in its entirety. But here I'm kind of almost trying to do the opposite of that. So, you know, the more eclectic, the better. And then it can be used completely, you know, in isolation of itself, if that makes sense. So, you know, whereas I might have used, you know, a whole snippet strip as a closure, this time I'm going to be using it, yeah, more like clusters from our cluster book, more like that kind of thing. So I'm just getting some base pieces glued down first. And to be honest, this to me, this is like quite, you know, the boring bit is getting some base pieces down. And then I'm going to build up from the base pieces. So, like that. Oops. Oh my goodness. I mean, you know, I'm not worrying at all. I'm being quite random with how I'm gluing them. You know, I've even got glue dabbed onto that. I'm not going to stress and worry like I perhaps would do sometimes, because I need to be eclectic and open-minded. Oops, eclectic and open-minded in my approach here. And I know I've talked about this before, but actually sometimes, you know, when you do things like this, you actually turn out with pieces that, you know, are maybe even nicer than you would ordinarily create. You know, because you're actually using things that you wouldn't have put together. So you kind of like come across things, or, you know, you come up with things that are like so different and so unique to anything that you've created before, that actually they end up being some of your favourite things that you create. Now, I'm not saying that this is going to necessarily be the case, because of course, you know, we are using a huge different bunch of stuff. And at this point, it's hard to say how this is ever going to come together into something that's going to look remotely nice. But let's just hope for the best. So this has even got some glue, you know, dabbed onto this fabric. So, you know, but I'm just using anything and everything. So popping that down there. Oops. Like that. Okay. And then let's just mix this up with some more. So, I mean, and hopefully my desk's, well, I was going to say my desk's going to look a lot clearer after this. No, my desk's not going to look a lot clearer, let's be truthful. It's going to take a lot more than just this one project to make my desk look clearer. But at least some of these little odds and pieces will be gone, which, you know, it's quite easy to end up with a whole multitude of, you know, overspills from projects, isn't it? So, yeah, I mean, hopefully from that perspective, it will be tidier. So, okay. Oh, look at that one. Okie dokie. Just got this long bit of fabric there. Oops. Sorry, it's just going to get that little bit of thread off of the glue tip, just because it was quite distracting, if nothing else. Okay. Like that. Okay, and right, I've got some more of this velvet. Let's just put some more of that down. Might as well try and use the whole lot of this, and then it's all kind of all gone. Okay. Oh, this is where I wish that I topped my glue up prior to starting the video. It felt like I had a lot of glue in there, but obviously I underestimated how much was in there. Just pop that on there. And I mean, to be honest, I've used this lace piece as my base. I mean, you could use anything, to be honest. Do you know what I think would be quite ideal for something like this is like the sleeve of a shirt, because, you know, that's going to be by nature a sort of quite long, not saying narrow, but, you know, a long sort of slenderish type piece. So, you know, just use kind of whatever you've got to hand, really. Okay, we've got a big patch here with nothing, so let's just fill that with that. Just wipe those threads again. Okay. Okay. Right. Yeah, and I mean, like I say, this feels to me like the boring bit is putting on the base pieces, and hopefully the more exciting part will come when we're, you know, not topping up, but, you know, putting the sort of more decorative pieces on. So the lace, the flowers and bows, and, you know, the trims and things like that. So just pop that down like that. And the other thing that you could do, to be honest, with this, and this sounds a bit strange, but you could, once you've done this, go over the whole thing with a large paintbrush and coffee dye, like along the entire length of the whole thing. And that way what you're doing is you're giving it a little bit of kind of cohesion almost, so that all of your fabrics take on a similar tone. So, you know, it would just then tie everything kind of together. I mean, obviously I have said that I'm making this to work independently, but for when you're cutting your little bits kind of from your big snippet, you then, you know, if you went into the next sort of section of fabric, they're going to work together quite well because they've all been coffee dyed. So I might even do that myself at the end of this, we shall see. But I would probably then have to leave it until the following day to all dry before I actually kind of show you the finished result. And to be honest, I mean, that would just be a quick way of doing it rather than individually. Oh, sorry. I think that must be the postman. The dog's just kind of got up and run off. That would just be a quick way of getting the colour on everything rather than individually coffee dyeing all of your fabrics, you know, because if you coffee dye them all individually, you know, you might then even have to, heaven forbid, iron them all. And, you know, oh gosh, I mean, I don't want to inflict ironing on anyone by suggesting that you do that. So this way they're all going to be completely glued down, so they're not going to get screwed up or creased or anything like that with the coffee dyeing. They're going to, you know, stay kind of smooth. Now you can probably see, I mean, I've actually creased this one deliberately, so I'm not looking to even get them all, you know, 100% smooth or anything like that. I'm just looking to get them, well, to get them down as the first instance, but also get them hopefully looking a little bit sort of eclectic in their organisation of how they've been glued down. So we'll just take this one. So I don't think that was the postman. It must have just been a noisy car or something go outside. And of course now Bo's now crying and wondering what it was. Come on, sweetie. She was asleep right beside my desk. So yeah, oh, there we go. Good girl, sweetheart. Good girl. Right. So just a bit of, oops, this velvet here. So I seem to have quite a bit of purple on this snippet strip. Again, not intentional. That's just kind of how it's transpired. I have to say, I mean, so far I'm looking at this thinking, oh my goodness, what a huge ginormous mess this looks. Let's just really hope that I can pull this back from the brink and it's gonna look lovely. Oh, who knows? I'm kind of having my doubts now. Oh dear. I mean, do you sometimes just start those projects and you're determined to make them look good, and then you start doing them and just think, oh my goodness, what was I thinking? That's one of these, or this is one of those moments. So yeah, at the moment I'm kind of like, oh, what was I thinking with this? This is a terrible idea. It just looks like a whole bunch of junk stuck down. Nothing is going with each other. Right, okay, so I've got a couple more bits of fabric which I'm just going to, yeah, stick down in a couple of random places. So maybe that one there. Oops. And I mean, like I say, these are all just literally offcuts that have been floating around, you know, oops, on my desk. So, you know, if your desk resembles my desk, which I'm not saying it does, but if it does, then the chances are when you dig through, you may well have some bits like this that are just laying around, you know, left over from other things. And then, you know, you can just pull them out and bring them in. So I'm getting very, very messy with glue. So I just can only apologise for the state of my hands now. I mean, I know that most people do get that, but I know that some people do, you know, do get a bit offended and don't probably really want to see my hands looking so messy. So I do apologise to those people who do not really like seeing that. But, you know, short of actually washing my hands every 2 minutes or wiping them, maybe on a wet wipe or something every 2 minutes, I'm just going to have to go with the flow. And they're just going to get probably worse during the course of this video. Right. Okay, so we're nearly done with our base pieces of fabric. Oops. And I'm actually feeling pretty excited by this, to be honest, because I'm thinking it's actually, you know, it's actually looking quite, well, interesting is probably a strange choice of words, but it's looking eclectic anyway. I mean, I would never in a million years have kind of combined any of these things together. So, you know, from that point of view, I think, well, it's mission accomplished, isn't it? So, because I did say we were going to try and be really, you know, eclectic and really varied in our... Oh my goodness, I'm so sorry. That's my phone. Hold on. Oh, so sorry about that. Right, it's going to be one of those days, obviously. So, I've done all kind of like the fabric bits really that I want to do. So now I'm going to do some filling in with some lace and things. So this is where I'm hoping it's going to start taking on a better appearance, because, you know, if I'm truthful at the moment, I'm not loving it. It's looking quite messy, isn't it? And looking probably a bit too eclectic, if I'm truthful. So let's fill in some of the spaces with some lace pieces. So I've got some of this crochet lace. So just snip some of these bits off like that. Okay, so I'm just going to kind of like, you know, almost like sprinkle them around. I know that sounds a bit of a strange description, but I don't want them to be kind of like uniformly put down. I want them to be like, yeah, sort of sprinkled around over the snippet roll. So we'll pop that one on there like that. Okay, now I've got this one I had already placed on here while I was on the phone just now. So we'll just pop this one down. Okay, so I hope everyone's having a good day. I hope you are doing some crafting and having a nice time. It's such a grey day here today. It's just yeah, pretty rubbish. So yeah, not great here. I mean, it's not awful, it's not raining or anything. I'm just going to put this piece here, and then we're going to be kind of layering up over the top of some of these bits. So we're just getting like splatterings of lace. I mean, really effectively, all I'm actually doing is just using up, you know, the bits that are laying around on my desk. So, and, you know, if you're looking for lace packs or anything, I've got lace packs available on my shabbydabbydoodah.co.uk website. And I've also got trim packs, which contain, you know, things like these little flower trims. They contain the black blingy trim, you know, that's kind of my favourite that I always use. Things like that, and also some flower trims and things. So there are a few different ones, or, you know, they maybe do change slightly over time, but they contain these types of things. And I also have got little flower packs that contain these kinds of flower trims as well. So if you're looking for any of those, then I have got them on my shop on my website. So right, back to what we're doing. So yep, let's just pop this down. Oh, I've got this horrible feeling now that this is not going to be looking very nice. Oh dear. Yeah, I'm not 100% convinced with this project just yet, but hopefully we're going to, you know, it's going to come off nicely in the end. So let's just pop some glue down here. So I've done the glue direct there. Put that down like that. Okie dokie. Whoops. Oh my goodness. There we go. And yeah, should we have a bit of this up here? Oops. There we go. Like that. Okay. Right, now just got a little bit of crochet. We've got a lot of crochet lace going up on this end. Oops. And now I seem to have run out a bit, so we're just going to have like a tiny bit here. So I might even put some other lace down first, and then kind of fill in some of the spaces with the crochet. Oh, that looks pretty there, doesn't it? So that's just some coffee dyed lace, which looks gorgeous, doesn't it? So let's just pop some glue down. I should have topped my glue up while I was on the phone. Right, check that's up the right way. Yep. And again, you know, if you want to not screw your pieces up, but, you know, wrinkle them slightly as you put them down, that can just give a slightly more effective appearance. So this is where we can now kind of like layer some lace up a little bit, and hopefully this is where we're going to get a sort of slightly more attractive looking effect going on. So like here, I'm just wrinkling this over the top of that one, and then actually all of those colours that, you know, let's be honest, looked pretty rubbish together, they actually look quite nice now together, don't they? So imagining this as just like a little piece in its, you know, isolation, it looks quite pretty, doesn't it? So I mean, that's what I'm hoping, is that, you know, eventually we're going to end up with that sort of thing along the whole, you know, the whole snippet. So I don't know whether that's going to pan out, but that's the plan. So let's just get some of this down. So, yep. And again, just going to wrinkle this up a little bit. Like that. Okay. Right, now, what else have I got? I've got this piece, which is rather nice. So yeah, maybe put this there, or maybe here. Ooh, or maybe even down here. Oh, decisions. This is a tough one. I think here actually. So yeah, a bit of glue. Okay, I'm so sorry about my gluey hands. They're just, you know, it's obviously quite a messy project. Okay, So like that. Now, if this does not appear that it's very well glued down, again, that doesn't really matter, because once I'm gluing like the topper pieces on, i.e. like the flowers and the trims and bows and things like that, then to be honest, hopefully that will then, you know, reinforce things and stick them down a bit better, because obviously I will probably use hot glue for those pieces. So if you're kind of worried and thinking, well, they don't look very stuck, you know, very well stuck down, they will be. Well, hopefully they will be. I mean, I'm saying they will be. Who knows? Maybe they won't be. But yeah, hopefully they will be. So let's pop that down there. Okay, wrinkle this one. I do love that sort of slightly, you know, more wrinkled kind of effect. So again, when I've got this scalloped edge, I do more often than not cut the scalloped edge off, the scalloped part off, just because I think it's easier to work with without the scalloped edge. So, you know, that's just my favoured way. But, you know, I'm not necessarily saying it's everybody's favoured way. But yeah, for me, I think I prefer it when it's slightly sort of straighter on the edge, I suppose. So like that. Now, do we want to have a piece down here, or do we want to have it up here, or maybe just even here, to be honest, like fill in just that gap. Oh, sorry, let me just clean that nozzle again. Sorry about this. Okay, like that. Okay. Whoops. Right, last little bit of this one. Now, there's a lot going on down here, so I'm not sure, as this is brilliant, but, you know, in the interest of obviously being different and eclectic and all the rest of it, I'm going to just go for this and hope for the best, you know, when we come to cut this into chunks and to, you know, to use it. So, right. Now, you probably think, okay, so this is how this looks. Now, you're probably thinking, oh my goodness, that looks absolutely terrible. And hey, you're not wrong. It doesn't look very good, does it? But I'm hoping it's going to by the end of what we're doing. So, yeah, let's just see whether I want, whether I want to have anything here. Here, maybe. Oh, that's quite nice. Oh, or even there. So, you know, super eclectic. I mean, honestly, what a lot of different, you know, fabrics and colours and, you know, lace and everything else that's going on here. But, oh my goodness, doesn't that look gorgeous? Love this little section. I mean, weird because none of that stuff goes, but I'm kind of quite liking how it looks together. Right, now I have got some spaces in here where you've got, you know, quite a bit of the white lace showing. I mean, I could just fill it in just because I've got a couple of bits that are very tiny, if you see what I mean. So, you know, a couple of little very tiny scraps that, you know, by rights, I'm not even sure why I've still even got them, why I've not thrown them away at some point. But I might as well just try and use maybe a couple of them. So that one I might just put actually underneath this. So I'm just going to pop some glue, whoops, on the top part and then just lift this up. Oh my goodness, sorry. Lift that up and just slide that under like that. So we've got like a little double lace edge there going on. Okay, right, what else have I got here? Just seeing whether I've got any of the other, you know, really tiny bits, because I just thought, well, they are ridiculous. I mean, like that. Let's just get rid of some of these because, you know, why have I even got them? Why are they even here at all, to be honest? So, yeah, let's get rid of those. Okay, let's just fill in this little gap here. Okay, right. Oh, I think I've got that upside down. Oh, dear. Oh, this is like going from bad to worse, isn't it? Right, there we go. Okay, now I've got quite a bit of lace showing up here, so I could still fill some of these bits. I'll just see. Right, I've just got a tiny bit here of lace, so yep, shall I just pop that down? Okay, right, so yep, just that one. And have I got anything else here? I mean, I have got this. I mean, it's a whole nother colour again, which is sort of crazy, isn't it, to be honest, why I'm having so many different colours going on this. But should we just pop a bit of that down there? Oh, let's just do it, shall we? Like that, okay. And again, just going to scrunch that a little bit. Okay, right. Oh, I've just got this. Do we need that anywhere? I mean, probably not really. Yeah, probably not. I'm actually going to throw that piece away. I mean, why I think that that's a victory, throwing that little minuscule amount away, is beyond me, because let's be honest, a normal person would have just thrown that away in the first place. It wouldn't have even been on their desk. But for me, that felt like you know, a victory of some sort. Right, I'm just going to put this one down here. So again, just run some glue straight the way across here, like that. Okay. Just squish that. Oh, sorry about this. Hang on. Okay, right. So I think I'm done with my, you know, with my base. I mean, oh my goodness, it looks horrible, doesn't it? I mean, there's a couple of patches that I think look quite nice, but on the whole, it's looking a bit of a mess, if I'm truthful. So what we're going to do, we're going to just start filling it up now with some goodies. So of course, I've got all of these little bits and pieces. Again, just, you know, things that have been left, you know, floating around basically on the desk from other projects. So here I've got some sari silk, so I might try and use this as a bit of a streamer. So, or I wonder if I could even do a bit of a sort of bow. Now, I mean, probably that's going to look best maybe on a green section. Wonder if I could. I mean, that looks quite pretty, doesn't it? So yeah, what I might do is just glue this together. So this is where I'm going to be using my hot glue gun. So I'm just going to glue all of this together. So like that. 1, 2, okay. Push that in the middle. Like that. Okay. Whoops. Right. Okay. Right, okay, there we go. And then, yeah, are we going to have this here? I mean, I've just picked this section here because, of course, there's some green fabric there. So it feels like it should go there. I mean, I have got green in 1 or 2 other places. And, you know, to be honest, do I even need it on a green section? You know, it would maybe look okay somewhere else. Yeah, I mean, to be honest, that even looks not too bad, doesn't it? So just going to check that I wouldn't prefer it that way. Yeah, that looks better, I think, strangely enough. I have also got these little rosebuds. Oops. That's got some glue stuck in it. So let's just try this out in 1 or 2 places before I commit to, you know, where it's going to go. Oops. Oh, I don't know. Probably down here is best, I think. So yeah, let's put it there. So just glue that down here like that. Okay. And then just, do we want that flower on there? Just check that I haven't got anything else that might be, oh no, that's way too big. way too big. Weird. Weird, weird. What about that one? That's quite pretty. Although, I talk about this all the time, I'm not over keen on the whole, you know, green and red, because I do think, oh, Christmas. Just smacks of Christmas, doesn't it? Let's just try that little. And that's kind of quite cute. Oh, do you know, now I'm wishing I hadn't put that down there. Oh dear, I wonder if I can pull that off. Oh, right, this is how not to. So I'm just going to, yeah, pull this one off. Because I'm like, oh, I'm not loving that. So, right, let's get rid of that. But hey, as you can see, it all came off quite well. So I've undone my bow now. Now I'm going to struggle to be able to use this because, of course, it's got blobs of glue on it. Oh dear. Because I thought, actually, let's open this out and ruffle it somewhere. Okay. Well, I probably still will ruffle. Right. Okay, I must stop mucking about here. So, yeah, what I'm going to do, I'm going to ruffle this here. So I'm still using it, you know, where I put it as the bow, but I'm using it differently. So I'm just going to sort of ruffle it up like that, okay? So, yeah, and then just a bit here. Like that. Okay. Oops. Oh dear. Like that. So, yeah, I think that looks quite nice. Right, this one I'm going to throw away because the blobs of glue, they were like too, you know, too much really. So, yeah, I'm not going to use those. Now, I've got another bit of green, so I could ruffle another piece somewhere. So, maybe here. So I'm just picking out some bits that have actually got green somewhere. So it's, you know, vaguely tied in. Okay. Like that. Okay, right. Just going to snip this off here at the end. Okay, so I mean, that looks quite pretty, right? Stop messing about, I mustn't I? So, yeah. We've got a couple of bits of ruffly sari silk now. I have got some purple sari silk, so we could do a couple of ruffles of purple somewhere if we want to. Do we want to? Oh, I don't know. Maybe not. Maybe a bit there. No, I'm not going to. Right, let's move that out the way. Okay, right, let's get on with our, you know, our main embellishment pieces, I think. So let's take, for example, the bow here. So I'm going to just like work along and see where these pieces look good. So rather than kind of starting at one end and trying to kind of like fill it in, I'm just going to kind of like, you know, see where things might look good. So I've got here, for example, this is just a little, whoops, a little decorative brad. So I've just cut the back stem part off, some of it, and in fact I'll cut the whole thing off. Then this can be just cut down as a decorative piece. So like that, okay. Now the only thing is this doesn't look like it's going to show up hugely. So I think what I might want to do with that is sort of emphasize it by putting it on some ribbon. So let me just pull in some ribbon. Let me just see what ribbon I've got behind my desk that maybe is a little bit neutral. Just because obviously the whole snippet roll is quite leery now, isn't it? It's not neutral at all. So I feel like I need something, you know, not too in your face here. So okay. So I mean, even on there, that looks quite pretty, doesn't it? So, whoops, we could just have that there. Because don't forget, we're going to be using these actually in their, you know, individual kind of isolated type pieces. So, you know, if you're kind of thinking, oh, well, that looks awful. If this was just cut out and say we're just using a tiny portion of this, then it, you know, it might work okay. So that one, and then here, just pop that down. Oops, like that. Okay. Right, that's that one. Sorry if you can hear Bo, just, you know, kind of, she does that groaning. She does that when I disturb her. She's obviously like, oh, Mum, be quiet. Be quiet. You're just too loud with your craft talk. Right, okay, so I've got purple flower. Do we want that anywhere? Oh, maybe here. That looks quite pretty, doesn't it? And then let's just have a look. Got these purple flowers here, which I wonder whether I could use one on the inside. Oh, maybe there. So just going to pop this one down here like that. Okay, and then just, yeah, use this as the flower center. Just need to check which is the right way and which is the wrong way. I think that's the wrong way. So yep, there we go. Okay, so we've got kind of two little sections that we could now cut out and use somewhere in a journal. So yep, they're looking quite good. Now, oh, that's pretty, isn't it? Okay, so we could use something like that there. Okay, just check that I'm, again, applying the glue to the correct side and not the wrong side. Okay, like that. Oops. Oh, no. Well, I don't know, actually. I thought, oh, no, but I mean, that could go on there, which actually is rather sweet. So let's just pop that one down like that. Okay. So, I mean, we're getting a lot of different kind of looks here, aren't we? Which, you know, when you come to use these, like I've, you know, said, they're going to be used in much smaller portions. So, you know, you could potentially cut this out, you know, very small. You don't have to use it kind of in a huge, great big bit. So if you're kind of thinking, oh, that looks terrible. It looks terrible because it's here with everything. If it was actually cut, you know, as an individual piece, then, well, hopefully it won't look terrible. I mean, who knows? It may still look terrible. But I mean, the plan is it wouldn't. So like here, we could just use these couple of flowers, pop them down like that. And then here, just pop that down like that. Okay. Okie dokie. So, yep. Right, now I have got this large butterfly here. So I'm going to just take that edging off. Okay. Now what I can do with this butterfly is I can pull it apart and then we get two butterflies from it. So I'm going to do that. So you just obviously separate it out here, which is quite good because those pearls can be a bit lumpy to have inside a journal anyway. So by doing this, we're making it, you know, more usable anyway. So take those little metal thingy bobs off. Okay, right. Get rid of that. Okay, right, let's get rid of these bits. Okay. Right, oops, right. So this big butterfly, obviously, I feel like I want something, you know, quite significant, I suppose, in the middle of it, because of course, you know, it's quite a big butterfly, so otherwise it's going to look perhaps a bit, you know, something could look a bit lost in there. I mean, I quite like it even with this big flower, weirdly enough, or even that one. That looks quite pretty, doesn't it? So let's see where along this whole snippet roll we think this might look pretty. So it could go here. Got quite a lot of different bits and pieces here. So it could go there. Again, I'm kind of thinking, you know, if we were just taking this off in a little kind of fabric-y area, you know, what's going to look pretty with this? So just, you know, using a bit of kind of like, not foresight. Well, I suppose foresight, yeah. Like, where would you be using this in a journal? How would you, you know, how would you think this looks pretty? You know, would it look pretty up there? Would you kind of use it down here? You know, and then obviously try and place it somewhere where you're going to get a good section, you know, a good section for it to go. So I'm going to put it up here, and I'm going to just place this flower on it through the center, like that. Okay, so that's a whole nother piece that I can cut out there and use on something. So, you know, we're already building up and sort of making this look interesting with lots of different bits to use. So we could even put a center in that flower. Don't know whether that's a bit weird. We could do a couple of things on the wings. I don't know. I'll leave it for the moment. Right, so next piece. We've got this, which again has got, you know, quite a big pearly center. So again, I'm just going to take that pearly center, out. I've just now dropped it. Oops. Okay, so I mean, to be honest, you could even do something like that. Looks quite pretty, doesn't it? And then it could go on like the side of a page. So depending on, you know, how you position that, let's again find somewhere that that's going to look quite complementary with the other pieces. You could cut it kind of like that, or this, like this. So I'm going to do it like that. So again, just going to glue this in half like that. Okay, glue the whole thing now down here on the side like that. Okay, oops. And then here, take this piece. Now, do we want to cut this one in half as well, is the question. Well, we could glue it on, and then what we could do is actually cut it down when we come to actually use it. So I'm going to glue it on like that. Oops. And then we have got this little center, which was also on that flower. So if I just take that and pop that down there like that, okay? And so then when you came to use that, you could cut that straight down there, cutting all of those little bobbly bits off, and then, you know, use that in your project like as a sideways piece, which would work quite well. So I've got here a greeny coloured flower. So again, just work our way along to find somewhere that's going to have some complementary colours. So I think actually it looks quite good up here. So I'm just going to glue it on here like that. Okay. And then in the centre of that one, maybe we might have one of these little Diamante kind of acrylic flowers, I think. So like that, or we could even have a red one. Oh, the red one looks quite nice actually. So yeah, perhaps we'll do that. Oh gosh, I can never quite tell which is the right way and which is the wrong way of these. Yeah, that's the right way, isn't it? So yeah, let's just pop that one down there. Okay, looking good. Right, so we've got that, and then what this, which was the, you know, the center of that other butterfly that we cut out. So where would we want this one? So maybe here. That looks pretty. Okay, like that. So just pop that down there. Now I'm just going to see, this might be too big. Oh, it is quite big on there. And just see how it would look if it had a gem. I don't know whether that flower has kind of made it lose its identity as a butterfly, if you see what I mean. It's, you know, it's so big that the butterfly is like no longer identifiable as a butterfly. It just identifies as a flower now. No longer identifies, oops, no longer identifies as a butterfly, just identifies as a flower. So yeah, we'll just do it like this instead. So okay, right, now I really wanted to get a couple of these gorgeous blue rosebuds on here somewhere because I think they're just so pretty. So yeah, would quite like to do that somewhere if I can. Now, do we want to do another one of those little ribbon type pieces like this and put the flower on there? It's not really the best colour for that, is it? Let me just see what other ribbon I've got. So I've got some green. Let's just see if we had the green with the blue. And that's quite pretty. Oh, that's quite pretty on there. Let me just make one of those little things and then I won't have all of this trailing about. I can just cut it off, you know, and we'll kind of have a look from there. So take that, snip that down. And like that. Okay. Right, okay. Get rid of those. Okie dokie. I'm thinking maybe without the leaves actually, so I'm just going to take it off of there. Okay. Oops. Oh, I don't know where that looks good actually now. I mean, I quite like the blue and green together, but trying to find a spot that it's like, you know, looking really good is tricky. So what about on here? Oops. Oh, I don't know. I just don't know. Right, let's try it down here. Oh my goodness. Well, we could have it there, couldn't we? We're picking up some green. We could have it up here. What about on there? I don't know. Oh, maybe this is not going to be quite right. I think what I need is some blue. Oops, some blue ribbon really for that that rosebud to work, which I don't have any. Well, I probably have got some blue ribbon somewhere around my room, but yeah, I don't have it with me now. So of course I can't now find anything that quite works. So I'll have to, yeah, have a rethink from that, I think. So let's try this one. How about with flower in the middle maybe? Well, that's quite cute, isn't it? I'm going to try and cut these little, oh my goodness, these leaves off. Oh, thank goodness I've got my glasses on. I would never have been able to see through there. Right, that's quite pretty, isn't it? So we could have that there. So yeah, let's just pop that one on. Okay. And just, yep. Like that. Okay. Like that. Then what about maybe just something like this somewhere? So, you know, just using up now really kind of bits and pieces that I've got kind of floating around just to fill in some of these spaces. So, yeah, what about that one there? So, let's put that one down there. Okay. They're quite pretty, and let's just try this. Oops. Flower. Just try a flower centre in this one as well. So that's quite pretty, isn't it? Oh, I just wondered, actually, if we could have the, oops. Oh. Let's just try that one. Or we could have this one down here. Or over there. Oops. Oh, I've now glued that to the desk. Right, let's pop this. Got these purple ones actually. Let's try those. Oh, they are gorgeous here, aren't they? Absolutely gorgeous. So, yeah. Put those down like that. Okay, they look lovely. Okay, I've got this yellow flower here. Let's again just get rid of that. Have I got any yellow really on here? Not really, funnily enough. Oops. Oh, I mean, I'm not a really big yellow fan, I'll be honest. I sort of struggle to use yellow. Yeah, let me know below. Do you struggle to use yellow? Are you a yellow, a yellow user? I don't know why I do really, but yeah, I've always kind of struggled a bit to use yellow, so. Okay, pop that bow down and just put a little bit of glue here. Okay. I mean, could even have that little rosebud there actually with those. That just sort of gives that really striking appearance, doesn't it? It's just making it a bit more interesting really than just the purple flowers, which are of course, the predictable obvious choice, aren't they? Just, sticking with what's safe. So we've got another lady here on another one of those decorative brads. So I've had these brads for some time. I couldn't tell you, I'm afraid, where I got them from. Again, I've been hoarding them ridiculously, and yeah, it's probably high time that I stop hoarding them and actually use some. So yeah, I thought this was perhaps quite an ideal project, because although obviously on here right now it looks like they don't show up at all, obviously when I cut these out into their individual little portions, it will then show up, because of course it's just going to be, oops, it's going to be a small small section rather than this humongous great big snippet strip that it looks like it is at the moment. So right, let's have a look. What about like that? Oh, come on. Oh my goodness. Not like that. Oh, I don't know. Well, that's quite nice. Right, so I have to be quite careful because I want to have that sort of positioned here, running along there. And that way I've got this all around, you know, I've got different fabrics. So it's very, very interesting, you know, how it's positioned on there. There we go. Looking gorgeous. Okay, that one looks really nice. Okay, what else have I got tucked under here from all these bits and pieces that I kind of pulled out and thought, oh, I'm going to use that, I'm going to use that, I'm going to use that. And actually, I've still got quite a few bits here that I haven't even, you know, haven't even glanced at really. So let's just have a look here. Got this flower, so I could put, right, let's take one of those. Pop this flower down. Okay. So we will do another video coming back where we're going to use some of these things. You know, I mean, not obviously all of them or the entire thing because, you know, it'd probably be quite a long video. Because by the time we cut this down, we're going to have a lot of different portions that we could use. But yeah, hopefully we will come along and we will do another video where we use quite a few different bits and pieces. And you'll then see, you know, how kind of useful something like this could be. I mean, is the plan. I haven't obviously tried it, and yeah, I'm still kind of questioning how useful this will be, but yes, hopefully it would be. You know, just to give some very kind of like interesting, like decorative page edges and little sort of decorative strips and things like that. So yeah, I think, you know, I think it's going to be a sort of useful little piece. And hey, if nothing else, this is very fun to make. So, you know, it's quite fun using a whole bunch of eclectic things that you wouldn't necessarily put together. And it's quite relaxing. You know, quite a relaxing kind of thing to do, to be honest. So, yeah, hopefully. I mean, like this, I could even have it there. I mean, I'm thinking probably not because that looks very tiny and then I'd probably struggle to use it. But, yeah, could put it there. I think I'm going to put it maybe up here actually, or maybe here. Yeah, maybe on there. So again, okay, like that. Okie dokie, and oh no, that's the red and green thing again. Why do I always do that? You know, I'm always very aware of the whole red and green just signifying Christmas to me. And yet for some reason, I'm always then putting down red and green bits together. Which is just weird, isn't it? Why do I do that when I, you know, then can't detach myself from thinking Christmas? Weird. Very weird. What else have I got here? Oh, I've got... Did I use that green flower anywhere? I don't think I did. That's the original green flower then, isn't it? Because I didn't end up using it anywhere. So, yeah, should we have that there? Okay. And I wonder if I could just have something next to that. Like the pink flower. And then I wonder if I could just finish it off with like a blingy bit. Oops, on the inside. Or whether I could finish it off with this brad. I don't know whether that would be... Oh, I quite like that actually. So yeah, let's just take this brad. Again, just cut those stems off. Oh, my hands are so gluey now, it's very difficult to actually do anything. So yeah, let's just take one. Oh, come on. One. And two. I have bought some wax seals along, but yeah, I've not ended up using any wax seals whatsoever. Yes, I quite like that. So let's just pop that down. Oh, doesn't that look pretty? And like I said about that other one, if you're thinking, well, actually, that really doesn't show up, it is going to when this is cut into, you know, smaller sections. So, you know, please don't kind of worry too much that we're not going to see it, or you know, it's not going to be significant. It will be, you know, once it's actually kind of like used in little tiny portions, then it will be actually, you know, like a main feature rather than just fading into nothing like it is at the moment. So on that one, just popped that. Again, maybe we'll just have a little pearly center in there. Okay. Like that. Okie dokie. Right, I've got a little bit of a space here, so I could put something on there. What about if we have that and then put a pink flower in the center? Yeah, that's really pretty, isn't it? So, you know, we're just layering up kind of other bits. So, yeah, like that. Okay. Like that. And okay, right, so I'm just having a quick look. I've got a space here, or an area here, where I've got nothing at all. So we could definitely put something in there. Now, did bring that wax seal along. It's not really the right, well, I mean, it's not too bad. I could have it more here. It's not really the right colour, if I'm truthful. I mean, I have got other wax seals that I could pull in, but oh, what about that one? That's quite pretty, isn't it? Okay, let's pop that one down there. Okay, and then we've still got this section here, which is kind of empty. So let's just see if we can just put anything else in there. Okay. And then we could probably have a little gem in the middle of that. What do we think? I don't know whether that's really showing up that much, if I'm truthful. It possibly could do with something a bit more sort of contrasting, really. I've got this, which it's just a flower that I've coffee dyed. But again, let's just see. Oh, I don't know. I mean, that's kind of a space with, you know, a bit of, you know, blank space in it. So we could have it there. Or I could have this one there. Let's just double check. No, I think I prefer this one. So, yep. Okay. And then this one here. Oops. Do we like this one? I've got a little tiny bit of lace that's just like floating about on the desk, which we could, yeah, we could even like fill it in there. I know it's got quite a lot of layers then, but you know, that's quite nice, isn't it? We just have a look now, see if we want to have a center. Just see. I mean, to be honest, it probably doesn't even need this bit of lace, but what I'll do, I'm going to just trim this down slightly so it's a bit smaller. Okay, oops. Oh, what's happened to it? It's over there. Okay, so let's just take the flower. Hopefully that flower is going to just clamp down that piece of lace like that. Okay, and then excuse me, pop our gem in the middle. Okay, looking good. Now, the only thing that I've noticed is a little bit area, the only area that I've noticed is a little bit blank is up here. So again, I've just got a little bit of green velvet here. So we'll just pop this piece here and then yeah, I mean, that looks quite nice, doesn't it? So yeah, let's just pop hot glue down just to glue this very quickly. Like that, okay. And don't forget, when you cut these off into their little portions, you can then make more of it. So if you wanted to, you know, if you cut this, for example, and then you wanted to then put this on, say, a bigger piece of lace, you could do that. And then, you know, make it more of a cluster, or make, you know, make more of it. So yeah, this is kind of just your blank pieces. And then obviously, you know, you can cut them down and make more of them as, you know, as you see fit. So I'm going to show you along the snippet roll, and you can see, well, it's not a snippet roll, but snippet pieces. So this is a scrappy snippet piece that we've made here. So very, very, very fun, very, very, very eclectic. Used a lot of scraps and a lots of bits that have been laying around on the desk. And now, of course, we've got a whole abundance of little portions that we can use for a whole range of different projects. So we will come back and we will use a few bits from here and sort of just see basically, you know, what we can do with some of these. So I hope that you like the process. Hopefully you feel inspired to make your own. And yeah, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you guys in the next video. Thanks then.